Welcome to the Shoe in the Breeze Conversation with the DJ podcast with your host, Eric Lee and Lorenzo Ice-T Thomas.
What's going on, folks? What's going on, folks? It's about that time. We're talking about Shooting the Breeze Conversations with the DJ. Yours truly, Eric Lee, in the place to be. My man Lorenzo Ice-T could not make it tonight, but he might pop in. I know he's at CIAA doing his thing. Just in case you don't know, big college, HBCU tournament, and I know he's in the place because he told me he's going to try to make it. But never mind, that's going to go. We still got the show and it's going down, and we've been talking about our special guest that's going to be on the show tonight. She's a very, very, very good friend of mine. And the cool thing about it is most of the guests that we put on the show are very, 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 very good friends of mine. So that's always a good thing. She's worked for or worked with Jay-Z, Master P, you name it. She's worked with artists as big as Big Boy from Outkast. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause. I got my girl up in the place, Miss Arlinda Garrett. What's going on, Arlinda?
Hey, you know me in life. Life goes on.
Life goes on.
Life goes on, yeah.
So how you doing?
Living life and loving it a lot. You want me to rap for you?
Well, I'm glad you got an opportunity to come on the show. We get a chance. What I wanted to do is there's so many artists that have done so well, iconic artists that went from zero to billionaire status. And a lot of the times people don't know that there were people in the background. And I'm sure they know there were people in the background, but they don't know exactly who the people were in the background to help them get to where they are. All they see is the glitz, the glam, the award shows, things of that nature. But the folks that actually went into the markets, did the grinding, did the dirty work, put up posters,
did the begging. We begged for a whole lot of it. Please, baby, please play my record. Please
play my record. Hey, so one of that we wanted to make sure we gave you guys your roses while you are still here. So I want to sit here and we have this conversation up with you. First and foremost, where'd you start in the business? How'd you get in the business?
Oh, well, that's an easy one. I was dating a guy, actually. I was going to Texas Southern University. Okay. And I met a DJ who was also at the time the music director. I was at Texas Southern University in Houston, right, and he was on the air. Okay. We started dating. I started going out with him to these different events and dinners with people that were called record promoters. Right. And when I saw their lifestyle, a little country girl out of San Antonio, Texas, right, I'm like, wow. What is that? What do they do? I want to do that work. Right. Well, that was the end of Texas Southern.
And you were in the music industry from there, huh?
Well, he sent me to LA. Okay. And in LA, I met a very dynamic individual that so many people have heard so much about. Okay. His name is Clarence Avant, the Black
Godfather.
The Black Godfather is who gave me my first opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
I've known you for a long time.
A lot of people don't know the story about Sussex Records with Bill Withers, Ain't No Sunshine, Lean on Me, Grandma's Hands, okay? They don't know that I worked the Gallery, a pop group that was on Sussex. Oh, it's so nice to be with you. Wow. And I worked Dennis Coffey, Scorpio. Dennis Coffey is a white guitar player. They thought he was a brother because he made love to that guitar, okay? And because I'm a Scorpio, when I heard the record, I was like, oh, yeah, this will work.
Okay.
And then the rest is history. But Clarence Avant absolutely gave me the tools. He gave me the blueprint of who I am still today.
Wow.
One of the things he taught me, well, a few of the things, but the ones that come to mind are things like, Arlinda, don't tell people you're going to do something that you can't do.
Right.
Okay? Mm-hmm. If you give a person your word, fulfill that word. Do what you say you're going to do. No more, no less.
Right.
It's not necessary to lie and filibuster about what you can and can't do.
Right. Right.
And I use that blueprint, and it has made me relevant to this day.
Wow. I'm blown away because everybody talks about the documentary on Netflix about Clarence Avant.
Well, his daughter was a little girl. She's the one who did the documentary. She's married to the guy who is the CEO of Netflix.
Okay.
Clarence Avant's daughter.
Right.
Is married to that guy.
Okay.
So that's how all of that came about.
Well, you worked for. Well, we didn't know he was.
I've worked for I've touched some of everybody's lives in this industry.
Oh my God. Avon. Okay, so you at Sussex Records. That was the first go round.
Yeah, well, and also don't forget at Sussex we had the Silvers. They were the
hotline.
The Silvers were the that's that one. They were Michael Jackson and the Jackson Fives.
I remember
competition. Yeah,
I remember.
The Silvers, and I was their age. I was the oldest one. They didn't know I was their age.
So you had
was lying about my age. I had put my age up.
Hey man, a lot of us will do a lot of things to get in this music industry because
all I know is that I didn't want to live in San Antonio, Texas, not another day.
So LA is a little different from San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, it was so amazing. Changed my life.
Okay. Well, yes. You've worked for a number of labels. Let's talk about some of the fun stuff. Name some of the artists that you enjoyed working with.
Well, pretty much everybody. I loved working with Jay-Z. He was a sponge. He listened. He observed.
Now, when you worked with Jay-Z, was he on Priority or was he on Def Jam at the time?
At the time, he was on Priority. He had not made it to Def Jam yet. Okay. Rockefeller was something that was in his mind. It was part of his dream, where he was headed. Okay. But when I got him, he was already signed to Priority. Now, he had his own label, and he had artists on his label like Memphis Bleak, Christian, the R&B group.
Oh, yeah. It's Full of Smoke.
You remember them?
Full of Smoke. Actually,
you know all the songs.
Hey, look, come on, Arlinda.
The DJ. Who am I
talking to? And music director of the year, Billboard
That's
magazine.
Right. Go
nominated
ahead,
twice,
ahead,
3 times.
DJ of the year.
Don't make me go run get my awards.
I might make you.
Actually, that one of the twins, Chris Jones, he actually, I cycle. He's a big cyclist. So I caught up with him at a cycle shop one time, and we were having a conversation. And he says, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, I'm in the music industry and radio." And I told him I work for V, and he says, "Well, I was on Jay-Z's label." I said, "Chris Jones." He looked at me like I was crazy.
Like, you remember me? You knew me?
You remember me? I was like, Full of Smoke. It's the only. I still rock the record.
Right. Yeah. Well, another fun one was Master P. I really enjoyed Master P. I enjoyed him. Another sponge who was just ready to absorb the business. Anything you could give him, any tips, anything, he would listen.
Were you on the West Coast?
We traveled with a big party with him. With Master P, it was always 2 vans full of artists. Always. Mia X.
The No Limit family.
The No Limit family. All of them.
So were you on the East Coast or the West Coast? Because I was checking out the documentary.
At that time, Master P, I was, where was I? I was in Atlanta, actually.
Oh, you were in Atlanta?
I was in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, and I came about Master P through Greg Street. I was riding down let me tell you this story.
I was with Greg
I'm riding
today.
down the street. And I'm listening to the radio. I always make sure I listen to Greg Street in the evening.
6 o'clock, time to rock.
Time to rock. I hear this song with this crazy ice cream man. Dun, 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 and that's the truck when you in the neighborhood, you hear that. Hey, we going out the door. We going to get our ice cream. So I called Greg. I said, Greg, what in the world is this? that you playing. I love it. He said, Arlinda, that's on your label. That's on Priority Records. I said, get out of here. He said, no, they're signed to Priority Records. I said, Greg, I'm hanging up in your face. I called the office, and the rest is history. I said, I got to work this record. They said, that's Master P. I said, I don't know who he is, but I'm loving this record. So please let me work it. And they assigned him to me. And again, the rest is history.
Right. So let's go back to Jay real quick. How do you feel when you see where he started and now he's a billionaire? And we can throw Master P in it too, because he made some crazy business decisions that made him gave his family generational wealth forever.
Well,
when you saw these guys, we won't say they didn't have nothing, but they were definitely not where they are today. And you see how they grew in the business. How does that make you feel being there from day one?
I feel blessed, and I feel highly favored that I was able to be a part of that, because what God has for me is for me.
Absolutely.
And Absolutely. I've never had any other feeling.
Absolutely.
People are like, well, don't you feel some kind of way they left you? But it wasn't for them to leave me behind. I'm not left behind. I'm still relevant.
We still gonna talk.
Still relevant.
We got a lot to talk about
right now on the top bill on the 100 charts. That's at number 46 and climbing.
Okay. So let them know, Arlinda.
Hey, you better ask somebody. It's not always about the money, okay?
Right.
And I tell people that happiness is not always about money.
Right.
So you got to find what makes you tick. I found what makes me tick. Right. This record industry is like a drug to me. I shoot it up every day, even in my semi-retired state.
And I got friends that like, dude, you always working. I say this thing is a drug. I've never had a job in my life
ever.
I've been doing this since college. And when you do something that you love, you ain't never worked.
It's not a job. How can you be more blessed?
I've been truly blessed. If you're out there checking us out, make sure you hit that thumbs up button for us. In addition to that, if you're checking us out on YouTube, but definitely go to our YouTube channel, hit the subscription button as well as the notification, because weekly we have some of the biggest industry folks that I know that are on the show. In addition to that, if you feel like you want to hit us up with a comment, go ahead and do that. That's real quick. Oh, actually, we got some. Amica said it's never about the money, Arlinda. Okay. We got folks feeling what we're talking about.
You feel me?
So yeah, if you get a chance, drop us a comment. Arlinda is one of the biggest heavyweights in the music industry, and I have been very privileged to know her for some time now, and I thank you.
Well, we started together. Honestly,
we all kind of grew up together in this.
We kind of grew up together. Like I said, when I met Clarence, I was so young that I lied about my age. So by the time I caught up with everybody, I realized now that we're all the same age. So.
That's good stuff. Now let's talk about some more of these folks. Purple. I just got to go back to the Purple Ribbon All Stars because I got to say that because of this.
Oh, you still have it.
I still got it. I have never worn this shirt. It's a 3X, man.
Items. Yeah. Do you still have the tank? Do you have any tanks?
No, I just No, man. Purple Ribbon. When I first got to Atlanta, all I heard was Perk.
All Stars.
All I heard was Perk.
Hey.
I figured we take it to the. I figured we talked about New York with Jay-Z. We talked about New Orleans with Master P. I figured we could go to the A on this one. That Perk.
Let's take it to the A.
Hey, and you actually had an opportunity to work with one of the biggest artists that has ever come out of Atlanta. One half of Outkast, Big Boy.
Yes. Big Boy.
What was going on with Big Boy?
Well, Big Boy had dreams, and hopes and visions, but I don't know what sidetracked him. When he put that Purple Ribbon All-Star thing together, he was on to something.
Right.
That was really money making machine.
Okay.
And he gave these guys opportunity.
Right.
So to be a part of Purple Ribbon, it was like, I think 4 major players, artists who were actually the rappers in the song.
Mm-hmm.
So it gave them an opportunity to go out on the road, learn about the business, make some money, and also start their legacy, because publishing, they'll have money for the rest of their lives and their families.
And when you said publishing, and I wanted to get on this a little later, but since you didn't drop the jewel already, one of the things, that bag up. let's talk about publishing. Y'all pay attention to this. One of the things that I put on my questionnaire about when I interview our guest, I said, "What is one of the biggest regrets?" And Arlinda put on there, not understanding the publishing and waiting too late to find out about it, or didn't get it early enough. Talk about publishing, why it's important, why you regret not learning it early on in the business.
Publishing is important because it never goes away. It never dies. You're a publisher on a record. If your name is on that record, it never goes away. This is generational wealth.
Okay.
That's at its best. That's the best way I can describe it. You write a song, it's published, your name is on that publishing. Even the person who executes the publishing. I didn't have a desire. And again, what's for me is for me.
Right.
So I don't want people to think that, now I have, no, I don't live with regrets.
Right.
But if I could undo something, I would have gone back to learn about that publishing earlier. Right. I got beat out of some money, and it was through the publishing. The guy couldn't pay me at the time. So what he did was he gave me publishing on a song, and I'm not going to say who it was, but it's somebody we all respect and love. Older man, and he said, "Hold on to this, and when I get my money, I'm gonna come back and I'll take care of you on this end." So I read the paper, too young to realize, hey, go get you a lawyer, maybe. I mean, I'm just getting in the business. I'm excited. I don't know, what's really going on. But long story short, the record blows up. He sells he makes the sales like he said he would. He came back and he gave me a substantial check. I will never forget this. At 22 years old, I was given a $25,000 check. Now, in today's world, it don't sound like a lot of money.
It's still a lot of money, even in today's world.
But even in today's world, it is. But not if I'm going to exchange that for the paperwork where my name, where it gave me 10%, or I think it was 10%. I want to say it was 8 or 10, because it was 3 of us who worked in the office for him. Because he couldn't pay us all of our money, he would give us some money. He gave us that as an insurance,
right?
That he would come back. And he came back and he gave us all of us a check. And we gave him that paperwork back.
Right.
I ran out and bought me a little Volkswagen car. So it wasn't all bad, but you understand, had I known what I know now,
right,
I would still be eating off of that money, off of paperwork he gave me.
Right.
And it took me several years later before I really buckled down and started paying attention to publishing. And that's when I realized, wow, he took advantage. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
hey, I tell people all the time, a fair exchange is no robbery.
Amicus says
no robbery.
Amicus says music attorneys are expensive. No, it ain't as expensive as not getting your cheese.
it's okay. Okay.
Getting your cheese. And I think right now I was listening or checking. Actually, I saw a article about the young man that sang in The Lion King, and he said he thanks his mother every day, because when he was approached to do the song, they were going to pay him $1 million, but Disney was going to cut him off after that. So
right.
his mama
you get
said,
$1 million and you walk away and you're done.
He was done. His mama said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to take that small check for 30 or 40,000 and we're going to get paid every time that song is played. He thanks his mother all the time
publishing.
Or the Disney publishing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So so we talked about one of your regrets about learning publishing. Let's talk about some fun times that you and I had. We're gonna take you back in time for a second. Remember this? Oaktown 357.
Oh my God! Oh, look at me!
Look at you.
Oaktown 357. Oh,
and look at Maxwell got his hand on that girl's hip.
I see it.
And Max got his hand on them hips.
That's Aaron. That's Aaron.
Maxwell. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Got his hands on them hips.
You went in and dug it up.
Oh, I got some pictures from back in the day.
You got more stuff, I'm sure.
But at that time, you were working for Busted Records.
Records.
And the owner was this guy.
MC Hammer. Yeah. Look at you and Hammer.
Mr. Too Legit to Quit.
Too legit.
Mr. Too
Boy,
Legit
now
that quit.
was, let me tell you something. Next to James Brown, Hammer was probably the hardest working man in showbiz.
I believe that.
For real. And he didn't play with you. It was no joke. He was all of the guys that I worked for that became millionaires and made all this money. The one thing that they shared in common, they treated this industry like it was a real business.
Okay.
They were not playing. And I have a motto that says, if you treat the industry like a business, it'll pay you. But if you treat it like a game, it'll play you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Treat it like a business, it'll pay you. Treat it like a game and it'll play you. So they all got paid, the ones that was taking care of their business.
Right. I remember that night, that was at the Hampton Coliseum. And I remember that. That was the Hampton Coliseum, and Lewis was on the road with him.
Oh my God.
Oh, he's Eric, come on, get in the car. Get in the car. All right, dude.
Come here, let me show you my new Rolodex. He talking about his Rolex.
He told him, he showed
Rolodex.
I was like, Rolodex?
I'm like, dude, it's
when
the
I saw
Rolex.
that thing was probably the biggest Rolex solid gold I'd ever seen. We've seen a lot because there are a lot of folks.
And he always had to have the biggest.
Oh, he had to have the biggest. I was like, come on, man. This came out of Germany, blah, blah, blah.
I think that's when they blew my ears out at that concert, too. I learned to wear earplugs.
Oh, yeah. And for you young folks out there, actually, Hammer had a couple of venues that they had to check for structural damage after he did a show because it was that loud.
Loud. Yeah.
Hammer. Don't hurt him, Hammer.
Yeah. Oh, he hurt him.
So you worked for Busted Records. There was another a couple of groups on there, Special Generation and BNGB. How was it working for Mr. Hammer?
Hammer was fun too.
Okay.
Yeah, he ran a tight ship.
Right.
Again, I always appreciated the guys that could treat it as a business and still have fun.
Right. Okay.
So we always did that. Always. One of the guys that I think we missed. And I think about him because it was so much fun. Luke Skywalker. You forgot I worked for Luke?
We still got Luke. Luke, you gotta say, don't stop, get it, don't look. We on the Miami Sports Music Network. There's a lot of folks that that tune into this. They know exactly about Luke. So yeah, we can talk about might as well.
I love working. Put your ballies on. I love Luke. I mean, we would go out. He was the first person who ever hired an all-female promotion team.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Debbie out of Miami. Debbie was the VP of promotion. Her, Jackie Ward, was it Jackie Ward out of New Orleans.
Okay.
Myself. It was several females. And we always went on the road with him. And Luke would always start a fight. We would always tell the limo driver, look, we need you to park close to the door. Because when the fight break out, we running. Stilettos in our hands, and we out the door. But
dude, I remember them fights. I remember being in Atlanta with the Jack the Rapper and Dre. This is when the East Coast West Coast thing was going on.
Yeah.
And Dre's people got in a fight with one of Luke's people, and one of Luke's people got shot in the butt. And the next day, I don't know, did he go hooty hoo? Everybody from Miami, gold teeth,
came out.
They were at the hotel the very next day.
Came out fighting, swinging.
I was like, this
throwing
is crazy.
Stuff out the windows, throwing TVs.
I remember they threw the TVs out the window. I remember that. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Those were the crazy folks. We did have some fun in the music industry, but sometimes it got a little crazy in the music industry.
It got a little crazy.
Got a little crazy.
You just had to know how to hit the floor. You hear something pop, you better fall to the knees.
Hey, look. And I remember because and we'll talk about that when we were in New Orleans on that boat ride. I think Das Effects was on there with us, my boy Scoop and Dre. But I remember when the horses came through the lobby.
My gosh.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that too. But before we do, we got so many things that we can't talk about.
I might have to come back again.
Oh, looky here. Look, we lived through some stuff, but that whole East Coast West Coast thing with Luke Records, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
And at the time,
it was also crazy when I was with Cube. I didn't really realize. I don't know where my head was stuck in the sand. I didn't realize that they were feuding. It was Cube and the ones he had left. He left.
Oh, NWA. Oh yeah. They wore him out.
I was in DC when I had Cube.
Okay.
Up there, I did have him in the Southeast as well when I moved to Atlanta. But I was first introduced to Cube when I was living in DC.
Okay.
I was with Priority, and I took him out on the road. We were at he was doing a show, and they were in the audience. Somebody who was on the NWA side, threw some ice down on him. Oh my God! What was the name of the group? T-Bone.
What?
He said, "Oh, what was the name of the group? His hitmen. What was the name of what were their names?"
Are you talking about for NWA?
No. These were Cube's guys.
Oh, you're talking about the was it the Mob? I forget.
Come on,
talking about Mac 10 and all those guys.
Mac 10 was young then, but he wasn't. He hadn't surfaced yet.
Okay.
This was like a year or two before Mac came out.
Okay.
But yeah, you remember T-Bone? Was it
Squad.
That's who I'm talking about. And he was like, "Don't make me send my squad up there. Don't throw nothing else down on this stage." I was like, that's when I realized I was in the middle of a war.
Oh yeah.
I said, "Oh my God." I said, "This is what I've been reading about." The reality hit me,
Yeah.
Reality set in.
They came after Cube. But I remember, I go back as far as when Cube had beef with Common.
With
now,
who?
you may not remember that. He had beef with Common at one time.
Oh, no, I wasn't around doing that.
Yeah, they had beef too. Cube and Common had beef.
Common?
Yeah, Common.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he had it in him.
He had it in him for that one.
He's a passive aggressive.
Hold on, Common from Southside Chicago. He ain't no.
Well, I know he's from Chicago, but I thought he was that, kind of passive kind of guy.
But early on, everybody was a thug in the rap game.
A little rowdy.
Shout out to Craig Anderson. Thank you, brother. I will keep doing my thing. He says he enjoys the interviews. Well, we got some folks.
Hey, Craig Anderson.
Craig's a big DJ in Richmond, Virginia. What up, Craig?
Hey, all right, B.
Yeah, so that East Coast, West Coast stuff was crazy. I mean, choosing sides and things of that nature. But being in VA, we didn't catch a whole lot of it. But,
Not a lot, and then I always had Cube to kind of guide me. He would tell me, "Don't wear colors when we go out on the road." Our color was black. He said, "That's our uniform. We wearing black. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Black outfits, white shoes, black outfits, black shoes, white outfits, whatever. But we wasn't wearing no colors. Don't show up with no red and things."
Nah. That'd be the worst thing to do in LA.
Oh yeah. No, this was out on the road. I was in DC. No, I was in DC, and he was giving me that kind of guidance because he knew what he was dealing with.
Right.
Yeah.
So you actually work for Tommy Boy Records too, right?
I worked for Tommy Boy.
So we had
some crazy artists. Ooh.
Yeah, but yeah, Apache.
I
need a gangster. A gangster.
What was that other kid? He was so paranoid. I brought him to
you had Naughty by Nature. You had Latifah.
But he wouldn't go on the road.
Who knows, man?
I can't see that. You're helping me with my book. Look, I'm going to write a book.
Write a book on this?
I don't think so. I think what I want to do is memoirs.
Okay.
I just want to write memories, things that I experienced and how it happened, that kind of stuff. So maybe it'll be binded in a book form, but it'll be more memoirs.
Now, when you worked at Virgin, who's some of the artists that you handled?
Ooh, who didn't? Well, Purple Ribbon had the deal. Janet was with it was
still with Virgin.
Jermaine, and Jermaine had the distribution deal with us.
Oh,
so
that's right.
how I was assigned to her. Okay.
Speaking of Jermaine, he was at the radio station today. We got the chance to chop it up a little bit.
What was he doing? What was he promoting?
He had a artist, Currency. They were in the
He
studio.
always has I remember Currency. He's not really new.
Yeah,
Currency just haven't been out in a while, I guess.
Yeah,
but
brother from New Orleans. So he was at the station.
But we had them. We had them Franchise Boys. They were a lot of fun. Them boys was crazy. They would steal like rental cars and be gone to the strip club. We looking for them. I love those guys. Oh my God.
They would steal cars and go to the strip club.
No, they would steal our cars. They were our cars. They were cars we would rent.
Yeah, so I'm saying.
We fly to a city, rent a car, go to the hotel. You look around, your keys are gone. Next thing you look outside, the car is gone. Well, you know who got the car? The Franchise Boys.
The Franchise Boys got the car.
Yeah.
Who else had the shenanigans? Who else gave you the shenanigans?
That was the word too. They were the biggest shenanigans, though. Yeah. They had no fear. Those guys had the attitude that they had made it way further than they ever dreamt they would get.
Right.
So they weren't concerned with the repercussions of their actions. And they never really did anything really bad. It was it was funny because they would frustrate people who didn't have the mentality of, look, these guys are just having a good time. Right. You can't take it seriously. Otherwise, you give yourself a nervous breakdown. You just deal with each situation as it arose.
Okay. Shout out to Danielle. Thank you for Danielle for saying she loves the podcast.
All right, Danielle. Thank you,
Danielle.
Girl.
And if you're checking us out on Facebook, feel free to hit us with a chat. We'll definitely shout you guys out. In addition to that, hit the like button. And if you are on YouTube, make sure you hit the notification button as well as the subscription button as we continue to bring out new content each and every week, every Thursday. Now, we talked about Virgin a little bit. We're gonna bring your girl in on this one.
Oh, that's my goddaughter,
Juliet.
Jones.
You know what?
Juliet Jones is big time, baby girl. Make your godmother proud. I am so proud of her.
Juliet started off.
She was my intern for 5 years.
And she ended up running Atlantic.
She ran everything.
Started from the bottom.
It started It goes before that. Before Virgin, she was with Larry Kahn over at
Jive. With
Jive.
Larry. She was with Larry at Jive.
Yeah, she was there with Jive. Then she left and went with Geo for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I think was at Capitol.
Yeah.
And then Atlantic. She did a good 10 years at Atlantic, maybe 12.
Right.
And most recently, her biggest claim to fame, she's a COO, baby, over at Alamo Records. You go, girl. That's my girl right there.
I got to get her on the show because I got some pictures. Proud. I got some pictures of her back in the day. I'm you know what? I'm a blackmail.
Were we in our cat suits? We love some skin tight cat suits.
Look, I got her and Sherry Warren in a picture. I said, yeah.
Not Sherry. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Sherry, if you're checking this out, I got a picture, y'all. You
and
Juliet gonna be out there.
I love me some Sherry Warren.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, Sherry. When I met her, she was working for Bo Sampson.
She was working for Bo. Bo's gonna be on the show. Bo is.
And look at her now. So
yeah.
So like I say, some things are just ordained in your life. It's
right.
It's gonna be. You just have to show up.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just have to show up.
I had Thomas and I had Wanda on the show, and there were a couple of things that came up, and I wanted to get your opinion on it because Thomas said he says this music industry, he says you got to try to keep a straight head on it because it'll challenge you, it'll test you, it'll test your manhood. Wanda chimed in, said it'll test your womanhood. About the dark side of the industry. How did you keep away from all that stuff?
I don't know that I did keep away from it, but what I always did then, as I do now,
right?
I take the side of the truth.
Okay.
The truth will set you free.
Right.
One of the things that people could do with me was trust me. You've never heard my name mixed up in a whole lot of BS. He said, she said.
Right.
I don't carry back and forth. I don't do that.
Right.
So there were just parameters that I gave myself that I wouldn't be involved in.
Right.
If someone had something to say about Eric Lee and Eric Lee wasn't present to defend himself and he's my friend, what I would say is, hey, we're not going to have this discussion without him being here. And that's the way I live my life.
Okay.
If people trusted me with information, I'm going to take it to my grave. I'm loyal.
You heard it.
I'm loyal.
Okay.
And I know how to keep things to myself. I know how to be quiet.
All right.
If you don't get involved in a whole lot of BS, you don't have to worry about cleaning yourself up.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You heard it. Great words.
Yeah.
You've done a lot. If people have been checking us out and they've been watching us, this doesn't, with all the work that Arlinda has done, it doesn't go without being noticed. You're in the hall, boo-boo. You're in the hall. You're in the hall. You're in the hall.
Hey, won't he do it? Hey, won't he do it? I made the National Black Radio Hall of Fame 2021, baby. Yeah, he did that. Thank you.
Hey, look, when I tell people that the quality of folks that I'll have on this podcast, they just don't understand.
They don't get it.
They don't get it. They don't get it. I was blessed to be a part of an industry that I watched Kevin Liles and Juliet and all of these young bucks start off in the music industry and become household names in the industry. The largest, they've reached the pinnacle of where most people want to get to in this business. Yeah. So to see those things to happen, and I'm like, man, and they're just good friends of mine.
It didn't crack the ceiling, broke right through the ceiling.
Went right through the ceiling.
Through it. Okay.
Right through the ceiling.
Yeah. I mean, we were the forerunners and they came behind us and they just rammed it like the bulls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now let's talk about some stuff that you've created personally.
Okay.
Music business conference that you do.
Okay.
Talk about it.
The Music Business Empowerment Conference was really a spinoff in my mind of what Jack the Rapper
I knew it
was. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm that person who's always trying to enlighten and educate. As a matter of fact, when I started in the industry, my major was education. I was becoming a teacher. That's where my lineage is, my family. I come from a family of teachers and professors. And so when I segued into the industry, everybody thought, oh, she's not going to teach. She's not going to be a teacher. No, I am. And I still teach. I still teach those who are willing to listen and who need me. I have a client right now. He's in the mental health industry. He's a millionaire. He decided he wanted to be in the record business. Somebody referred him to me, and we got a record in top 40 right now. So I'm here to teach, and that's what the Music Business Empowerment Conference. I tapped into that circle of friends, like you were saying, Juliet and Kevin Lyles and Shadow Stokes and Maurice Whites, and man, I could just go on and on naming, executives in the industry who have supported me. Right. Interscope, RCA, Capital, all of these companies, big supporters, sponsors. So they would sponsor me so that I can let people who couldn't afford to pay the $250 registration fee come in free.
Right.
And then I would bring the people who they wanted to meet, people who were not in the industry. You would never meet these executives trying to go to New York, sitting in an office or in a lobby, waiting for them to appear. But what they would do, they would come to Atlanta, Georgia, and participate in a forum style quick Q&A for the Music Business Empowerment. And they agreed to meet with people one-on-one. We had fireside chats, all kinds of things. So again, it's a learning and sharing of information to people who want to do what we do. I don't feel like this is something I should hoard or take to my grave. My knowledge, I want to share it before I move on. Right. So I want as many people as I can to be empowered and enlightened.
Right.
Both male and female. It's not a female thing. I'm not with all that. I didn't come up with that.
Right.
When I came up, women weren't in the industry. We were far few and in between. Okay.
Yeah, it was mostly male dominated.
Oh, it was definitely male dominated.
Right. It was male dominated.
Yeah. But music business has been my baby. We are looking to bring it to Panama. Didn't do one this past year, 2022, because I was in my transition mode. I was moving to Panama. And now that I'm here, oh boy, it's going to be on and popping.
Yeah, the first thing I was like, how the internet in Panama? How the internet in Panama?
Hit or miss, just like the electricity.
Guys, if you're checking
this
this out.
Hit or miss. We got electricity right now, but it could go out at any time.
At any time?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's beautiful out there.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It gives you the opportunity to look up at the stars and just see what God has used as a canvas to paint this beautiful atmosphere for us that we don't take time to even enjoy anymore.
Right.
We don't take time out. And I said, you know what? I'm going to become a minimalist. I'm tired of working myself to death for what? Something I can't take with me. I can take this joy and happiness with me. Right. I can take this with me. Okay. I can't take that 3,500 square foot house I had.
I won't even say what mine is. So.
You probably 4,500.
Yeah, a little more than that. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. God.
Is it 5,000?
Anyway, a little more than that.
I'm done. So you got a baby mansion that you haven't even told me about. I'm coming. I'll be in Atlanta in March. I'm coming to see it.
Come on through.
I'm coming to see it.
Now we were talking about executives, and hopefully everything is working out with this executive here. That, of course, I'm pretty sure was at the music business piece. We're talking about Shaka.
Yeah.
And Shaka at the time, we were with Def Jam at one time. He was disturbing the peace. Ludacris. Yeah. Did you work with Ludacris?
He's still with Ludacris.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You remember I had my record store. We didn't even talk about that.
That's right. You had A to Z.
I had A to Z records.
A to Z record store.
And that's Magic. Isn't that Magic from WJTT?
In the back.
That right there next to me, the female.
Oh, yeah.
That's Magic. And me, Magic, and Shaka.
Yeah.
But I thought about that because Ludacris used to come by A to Z and help bring customers. Man, these guys really supported me. They blew A to Z up. He would bring his bus and park it in the parking lot. And when people would see Ludacris's bus, they knew he was in there. Man, I had lines around the corner. I'm talking about people lined up to buy music.
Luda.
Yes.
I forgot about that you had A to Z.
A to Z, yeah. And I did too. When I filled out your questionnaire, I should have put it in there, but I tried to stick to the script because we could be here for days talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we still hadn't talked about Ashanti. We haven't talked a lot about Memphis Bleak. We didn't talk about Janet. You work with.
Well, like I said, once you go through everybody, if you want me to come back, I have no problem.
Oh,
this
man.
is so much fun. Much fun.
I'm glad to have you on here, man, because a lot of folks are like, I mean, you know me, and the folks in the industry know me, but as from moving from city to city, I don't take the whole, industry with me, because I'm on the sales side now.
Right.
So people are like, you did what? Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah. They just don't know that was your beginning.
That was my beginning. And from time to time, people say, did I just see you on TV?
Oh, yeah, you acting too. That's right.
Yeah, I've got a couple of TV shows out, and I've got one coming out in the summertime. It's I'm a part of the cast of The Genius, Malcolm and Martin. I play a deacon. Boy, he's a pistol.
The Genius, Malcolm and Martin.
Yeah, I'm a pistol on that one, so you'll see.
Malcolm X and Martin Luther?
Martin Luther King, yeah. It's a story. It's really about Martin Luther King, but it's
wow. I can't wait. Make sure I'm alerted when that comes out.
I'll definitely do that.
I'm so proud of you. Look at you.
Yeah, I get lucky every blue moon,
So no, it's blessed.
Yeah, I definitely take that. I will definitely take the blessing.
It's not the luck.
So
the luck is the lotto.
True that. So for people that are looking to get into the industry, what advice would you have for those guys?
The advice today?
Yeah, because it's so much different than when we got it.
It's so different, yeah. And when I read that, I thought about it, and I said, you know what? The best thing to do, which is what I tell people in any industry that they're looking to get in, to do a little research, if not a lot of research. Research the industry, and then find a place or find somebody who's doing what you want to do and research them. Find out how they did it. It's like if I wanted to be an actress, I would probably study Viola Davis.
Right.
I would go and research her from her beginning. Who did she work with? Where did she study? All of that. So it's the same thing with the industry. You don't just, I want to be an A&R. Find a successful A&R person and find out how they did it. Right. There's no, what is it called? There's no
formula, no secret formula.
There's no new wheel. There's the wheel turns. The wheel has already been invented. All you got to do is find a place to jump on that wheel and ride.
Right.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh,
you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, Arlinda, it has truly been a pleasure to have you on the show. It's been my pleasure.
And so much fun.
Look at you. Superstar. Look at you, superstar.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Girl.
Jingling, baby. Go ahead,
baby. There you go.
Jingling, baby.
She is a current member of the National Black Radio Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Owned record stores, dealt with some of the largest artists that we have admired. We've heard their stories. I mean, Jay was the first billionaire. You worked with him.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Master P, Big
Cube
Boy,
Cube ain't too shabby. He may not be billions, but he got a few. He got enough millions to.
Who?
Yeah,
Who?
Cube, Ice Cube.
Oh yeah, Cube. My bad. Yeah. Look, let me get Cube. Give Cube.
Yeah, because he was actually the first. But Jay was actually the first certified billionaire.
Right. That's right, Cube. I mean, you work with
Cube
a lot.
Was right behind him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I want to thank you for coming on this show. We wanted to, we continue to do this. We want to continue to highlight the people that were in the background of these artists, because nobody wants to know how the sausage is made. They don't understand how many hours you guys had to be on the road, the record stores,
away from your family during holidays. What holiday? You don't get a vacation. You don't get no holiday. You're working. It's New Year's Eve. We got a show that night.
We got a show tonight. Y'all in town? Yeah, I'm on my way over. Eric's coming out. Here I come.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we coming. It's the stations. Yeah, we got to be there. Yeah. I wanted to definitely give you your flowers while you're here. I got a lot more flowers to give because I know you got a lot more work to do. Like we said, we don't. This is something that we've done all our lives, so
we love it.
This ain't no job. This is what we do.
Something we love.
Something
that's why I'm so blessed. I feel so extremely blessed to be able to wake up every day and do what makes me happy.
How about that?
How about that?
How about that? Let everybody know how they can reach you in social media.
Arlinda Garrett. Simple.
Okay.
Arlinda Garrett. Google me. Garrett. You can Google me.
Good stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to hang out for a little bit in the green room. I'm gonna throw you out into the green room, and we're gonna shut the show down, and we'll talk about next week. And stick around for a second, Arlinda. That was Arlinda Garrett, a good friend of mine. We do this each and every week. We're talking about shooting the breeze, where we get a chance to talk to some industry insiders, but we're going to start to feature some artists too. Don't worry, that's coming along. Some comedians, actors, entertainers. But what I really wanted to do is start off this whole program or these episodes in the beginning to talk to the people that were on the back end of some of the largest artists that we admired, that we hold in reverence. You name it, we're going to talk about a whole lot. I've got a good friend of mine coming on in the next couple of weeks. On the day that Biggie got shot, he was actually in LA at the museum. So he's going to talk a little bit about what happened that day. And that's going to be on March 9th. I truly believe that. And that's on a Thursday. So get ready for it. Next week, we've got some more juicy stuff coming from Death Row. Yeah, Suge Knight's group. Mm-hmm. All of that. We're going to talk about it all next week right here. Once again, check us out each and every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. Special shout out to the Miami Sports Music Network for allowing us to be on your platform. Let's make this thing legal.